So, what is SQL injection, right? You probably heard about it before. And you also, in your class, if you're a student or maybe you just finished your education, you remember the first time someone told you about you have to use prepared statements. And you're like, why? Well, it's something regarding to security, and your teacher couldn't really explain it, and it's just like you have to do it. Did you ever have that kind of feeling as a student that you're being told to do stuff and cannot really get an explanation for why? At least the explanation you get is like, but is that the full story? I'm like, yeah, probably not. So this is the full story. I created a tool, and this tool will show you, like, while you type logging in with the username test and the password, while you type you can see what happens to the SQL statement. If I, for example, would say, like, if there's no prepared statement here, there's no SQL injection mitigation or any other sort of filter trying to verify my input, validate my input here in the actual input field before we put it in the SQL string, well, then this is raw and this is raw and this is what this is all about. So pay attention to the single quotations that I use to separate the input, the text, the variables, and the commands. What if I type another single quotation and do a space? Then you can see that I have a select all from users where username is equal to 1 and 2, so that's a empty string. You would probably say, but yeah, but what what about that then? Yeah, what about that? Well, what I could do is I could put in a semicolon and effectively end the SQL statement. But you say, but okay, listen, but maybe that this is a correct SQL statement that will not generate an exception then. But all this will say yes. But we have a solution for that as well. We can inject ourselves, you know. And now you're thinking, but Daniel, can common users do that? No. But are common users the hackers? Probably not, right? So, what I'm saying is that you could do something like delete from users, and you should do dash dash and a dash. So what you get here is one valid SQL statement saying another valid SQL statement, and then you say comment out and forget the rest after that, and all this is then ignored. So you're effectively ignoring all the stuff that's generating an exception. Good job. We're done. So what did I just do? What did I just do? I just typed in actual SQL statements, actual SQL commands directly into the SQL statement. If I copy pasted this and put it in my database where this table were lying, I would delete that table now. Totally, like that, full. That is a possibility in SQL injection when you have no sanitization, no input filtering, anything. This is of course just deleting. In most occasions, I would say deleting a whole table is probably not the act of real malicious actors because they want something from you. Well, that would probably be an action of someone that wants revenge or script kiddie. Now, that is of course just an hypothesis. So it could of course be the opposite in some occasions, but looking at the actual profile and the motivation of a different kind of types of hackers, these are the things you probably would, read in a book. Now, the reason that I'm doing all this SQL injection in the username is because this is, password out. I could of course change the password to text in the HTML, in the front end, but I just didn't bother. This is enough. It doesn't do anything if I submit it. It's just there for you to show, to look like real SQL. Now, if you just look at the source code for this is very interesting. It's just some HTML. It is just a JavaScript. There's nothing crazy going on here. I gave the names some crazy names for the IDs and stuff just because I want to make sure that your automatic password inserter at least didn't detect this too much, but I think it will, but just pay attention to that. So I really hope you learned something from this and you got to the understanding of what SQL injection is. See you again online.